From Slavic Front 88. Slavic Front 88. And the number 88 is the symbol of the Nazi SS. So you must be a Nazi. Let me see your wait, just let me take a second here and see your web. I want to see your channel on ZooTube. I want to see what you got here. Slavic Front 88. Because I see you already have anti-Jewish questions here. Slavic Front 88, National Socialists. Yeah, you're a Nazi. Just what I thought. 88 is the Nazi SS. You're a Nazi. You're an open Nazi. You're talking about meetings of the National Socialists. You're an open Nazi. Okay. All right, let's see what this By the way, you're not supposed to have an account on YouTube. It's against the rules of YouTube for you to be promoting Nazism on your account. You're promoting Nazism on your account. So your account should be taken down and all of your videos should be removed. You're in violation of YouTube rules. And now Slavic Front 88 writes, and I quote, "Are you aware of the Talmudic racist teachings?" unquote. This is a Nazi who is talking to me about racist teachings in the Talmud. The Talmud has no racist teachings. Jews are not allowed to be racist. The Jewish religion, the Talmud, is Judaism. Judaism does not permit racism. You are not allowed to hate somebody because of the color of their skin. You can hate evil people because of evil behavior. But there are evil people in all races and there are good people in all races. You're not allowed to hate people solely because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity. So the Talmud has no racist teachings. And this Nazi is talking about racist teachings. Can you imagine the hypocrisy? Look at the hypocrisy of these Jew haters. And now, Slavic Front 88, the Nazi, writes, and I quote, "Are you aware that your people who follow them are sitting in higher-ups of our government?" unquote. No one who believes in the Talmud is sitting in the United States government. Okay? The people who are sitting in the United States government want to do what you want to do. They want to destroy the Jewish people and destroy Israel, including the self-hating Jews that support Barack Hussein Obama. No one in the United States government or in any government of the world believe in the Talmud. Even in the Israeli government, you don't have people who believe in the Talmud. If you had people believing in the Talmud, they would throw the Arabs out of Israel instead of throwing their fellow Jews out of their homes. And now, Slavic Front 88, the Nazi, writes, and I quote, "Are you aware of the Palestine genocide?" unquote. Well, I'm not aware of it because there's no such thing as Palestine. There has never been a nation or people in history called Palestine, period. The Arabs themselves denied that there was ever a Palestine people or state until the 1960s. They themselves said there's no such thing as Palestine. And since then, many of their leaders and spokesmen have been admitting, even recently, one of them admitted again, there's no such thing as a Palestinian people. This is all just propaganda. And by the way, Slavic Front 88, the Nazi, is talking to me, is complaining to me about genocide. Can you imagine this? This is a Nazi who's telling me about genocide. And now Slavic Front 88, the Nazi, writes, and I quote, "Are you aware of the Russian genocide under the Jew Bolsheviks?" unquote. Jew Bolsheviks? Jew Bolsheviks? First of all, the majority of the Russian people supported the communist regime that took over. They fought fanatically and supported the communist regime in Russia. Okay, even though some people try to rewrite history, the vast majority of the Russian people went along with communism and supported communism and were patriotic communists. That's a fact. The vast majority of Jews in Russia were not communists, did not support communism. There were Jewish traitors who supported the communists and who joined with the communists and helped the communists. But most Russian Jews were not communists and were persecuted terribly under the communists, terribly. And when the time came for Jews, when the time came to resist the communists and to have dissidents and to build a movement that would resist communism and that would fight for freedom, it was the Jews who were in the forefront. Who was the Jews who were brave enough and principled enough to stand up and be the dissidents and fight against the communists. The Jews, most of the leading dissidents in the Soviet Union, most of the people that led the philosophical and the ideological and the public relations efforts that eventually brought the Soviet Union down, most of those people, they were Jews. The people who fought the communists and brought communism down, those were Jews. Most of the Jews were not communists in Russia. Most of the Russian Gentiles, unfortunately, were. They accepted it. But the Jews were persecuted and despised, and the communist leaders didn't trust the Jews because they knew that most of the Jews did not support communism. What a nerve. Anti-Semite writes, and the name of this anti-Semite is Persian for Palestine. Oh, Ralph. That's got to be Ralph. Everybody on our forum knows Ralph. He's joined our forum 100 million times under different names. Okay, let's see if he's writing the same. I see already he's writing the same thing he always writes. And I quote, "When I read that 25% of the first grade population in Israel were grown men initially, I found it difficult to believe. But after reading the simplistic writings of Jews online, it all becomes exceptionally clear. Mentally, the Jews are extremely lacking when it comes to intelligence. It's obvious that Ahmadinejad scares the hell out of you morons because he has degrees in the sciences and you idiots are still struggling to compose sentences that aren't even yet at the level of a first grader," unquote. Oh, Ralph, you are so right. You're absolutely right. The Persian Muslims are smarter than the Jews. You're right. You're right. The Jews are 1/10 or 2/10 of 1% of the world population and 38% of the Nobel Prize winners for science, for medicine, for all the great discoveries in history. You're right, though. The Jews, they don't know anything. They're dumb. The Jews are dumb people, of course. By the way, you always claim that you Jew haters always say we're taking over the world, we control everything. This small little people is taking over the world and controlling everything, and now you're saying we're dumb? Doesn't sound dumb to me. If we're taking over a group of only a few million Jews takes over the whole world, doesn't sound like a dumb people to me. I mean, you have to make up your mind. Either we're dumb or we have too much influence and we take control of everything and we're all rich. You got to make up your mind. But anyway, I admit Ralph is right. The Muslims are the smart people. Muslims are really the smart people. Yeah, they follow a religion. Even the founder of their religion, Muhammad, was an illiterate who used to screw camels. I mean, who was a pedophile who married a 6-year-old girl and used to have sex with his camels. That's the great religion. That's the great founder of their religion. So you can imagine what brilliant people come out of that so-called religion and culture. From Ishtarization. That's the name. Ishtarization. And I quote, "Hello. I wanted your opinion about Meir Kahane because I see him as a political leader, not religious leader, like Rabbi Yitzchak Kaduri or Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. They are more religious. But I have a question. There are two kinds of Hager Toshav and Hager Tzaddik. Hager Tzaddik is a convert to Judaism, and he should keep the Shabbat. The Hager Toshav is not a Jewish convert, but a settler convert. Can the Palestinians be Hager Toshav in Israel? According to Maimonides, Muslims are the Noahide nation, and the Hager should not worship other gods or engage in idolatry of any kind or blasphemy God," unquote. Okay, first of all, you ask about Rabbi Meir Kahane. Rabbi Meir Kahane is the greatest Jewish leader in modern Jewish history. That's my opinion of Rabbi Meir Kahane. I do respect other rabbis as well, but Rabbi Meir Kahane was the greatest Jewish leader in modern Jewish history. And if you say, well, he's a political leader, not a religious leader. Well, was Moses a political leader or a religious leader? How about King David? How about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Rabbi Meir Kahane is in that tradition. He is in Judaism, there is no politics. In Judaism, what you're referring to as politics is Jewish survival. And he fought on all the controversial issues, was not afraid to be controversial, to fight for the Jewish people. He is the greatest Jewish hero that I have ever known in my life. And now, you ask about Ger Toshav and Ger Tzaddik. And you're right, a Ger Toshav is a non-Jew who lives in the land of Israel, who observes the 7 commandments of Bnei Noach. In other words, a Ger Toshav is a Gentile who lives in the land of Israel when we have a Jewish state, and he observes, he supports Jewish sovereignty in Israel, he supports the Jewish right to the whole land of Israel, he recognizes the Jewish sovereignty in Israel, and he also observes the 7 commandments of Bnei Noach, of the sons of Noah, of the righteous Gentiles. That's a Ger Toshav. Now, a Ger Tzaddik is a Gentile who converts to Judaism. According to Jewish law, he converts to Judaism. So that's the difference between the two. Now, you make a statement here which is not true. You say that Maimonides, who in Hebrew is Harambam, you say Harambam says that the Muslims are the Noahide nation. Chas v'chalila, God forbid that he would make a statement like that. Harambam never said that. Never said that. The opposite. He said a Muslim can never be a Noahide. He said that Islam is an insane religion, and he called Muhammad HaMeshugah, the crazy one. He called him a madman. Harambam referred to Muhammad, the founder of Islam, as a madman. He never said that he represents the Noahides. So that's just not true. Muslims cannot be in the category of Ger Toshav. Muslims in a truly Jewish state, according to Jewish law, according to Judaism, are not allowed to remain in the land of Israel. That's Jewish law.
What kind of